So I wanted to invite one of the best legal minds I know to come into the studio to talk with us about the curious case of Michael Irvin. So if you're not up to date on it, here is the timeline. February 5th, Michael Irvin is at the Marriott Renaissance Hotel in Phoenix, Arizona. He's there doing coverage for the NFL Network and ESPN for the Super Bowl. In the evening after he finishes his duties on television, goes back to the hotel, ends up in the hotel bar drinking a club soda, talking with patrons there, telling stories as Irvin is known to do. A couple of the guys there ask him to take pictures. Irv says, "I'll take a picture with you, but not in a bar. Got to do it outside. It's a bad look." They walk outside into the lobby area, take a couple of pictures. At that point, a young lady who's working the front desk comes from around the desk, approaches the men who were talking after taking the picture. She has an engagement with Michael Irvin. Lasts about 90 seconds, according to his attorney. She then leaves after laughing and joking with him. He gets onto the elevator, leaves, goes to his room. That is the end of it, right? No. During the middle of the night, hotel security contacts Irvin and tells him he must leave the hotel immediately because he has been accused of something. They don't really tell him what it is. Hours go by, we find out he's been accused of sexual misconduct with an employee of the Marriott. ESPN benches him. NFL Network benches him. And it's all over the news. Well, two men who were in the bar with Irvin and ended up outside taking pictures with him call into the Tony Bruno radio show. Tony Bruno was nationally syndicated, now is in the local area. They say, "Hey, we were there. We were not only in the bar with him, offered him a drink. He refused it because he had work the next morning. We also were out in the lobby, took pictures with him, and was there when he was approached by his accuser." They never saw anything untoward between him and her and actually witnessed him getting onto the elevator by himself. Irvin now has since sued the Marriott. His defamation suit is up to about $100 million. That's the number that he's suing them for. So obviously this is still being, and you're up to speed now, this is still being investigated.
Right.
I can't make heads or tails. Here is what I believe. I believe, and I want to be careful, that his past, it appears, has been used against him. Things that he did 20, 25 years ago are being used against him today. Because all of the present evidence, and there could be evidence that flips this the other way, but everything present looks like this man was defamed, had financial opportunities taken away from him on the basis of a yet to be proven allegation, and the hotel looks to be in trouble.
I would agree.
Okay.
Clay, if you want to dive into it a little bit, Michael Irvin pled a no contest plea to a cocaine charge and a misdemeanor marijuana charge some years back. He was known for being a party guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think he runs from that reputation of, at one time he was a party guy. But here's what's peculiar about this situation. He had to be very pointed about what he was doing because he was unwilling to take a picture at the bar. So that means he was keenly aware of his surroundings, and he was obviously not about making any mistakes. He was not willing to accept any drinks that were bought for him at the bar. Again, being keenly aware of what the perception could be had someone seen him acting out of order. I feel like you're exactly correct. I mean, if someone is accused, they've been confronted with the law, they've gone through whatever exercise the courts may have deemed they needed to do to fulfill its requirements to the court, those things should be put behind him and he should be able to move forward. He's an All-American, he's a Hall of Famer, he's a superstar. ESPN recognizes his value. NFL Network recognizes his value. The Super Bowl networks recognize his value. Mike has woven himself back into the fabric of the NFL.
Earned it back.
He's earned it back. He's earned it back by showing up, being the charismatic guy, that we know Mike to be. Right. And one thing that was also interesting was that the gentleman said that he was being very charismatic.
Right.
And if you've ever been in a company, I've been in a company with Mr. Irving, he's very charismatic. he makes you feel like you're a star. He makes you feel like you're a part of his environment, wherever he is. And so when he said this sickens him in his interview, I could empathize with him, because she approached their group of individuals, right? And wanted to engage him. And he did the same thing that everybody knows him to do: make her feel like she's part of his world.
A
And
90-second conversation. Here's what I want to do. I want to stay with this. I'd like you to stay with me on this as we go through this. We talk about it today, but I want you to come back and let's okay. All right, Attorney Dedrick Moore. And on the others, I have so much I could say about this, because there are so many undertones to this story that are just so visible, and it's bad. Next week, Chief Paul is going to be on the show, and we're going to keep talking about this. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on The Clay Young Show.